Hey friends, thanks for joining me today. Let's talk about what you need to have in your vehicle when it gets real cold out. Okay friends, so right now it is really cold out. It is snowy, it is January, it's cold. So what you need to have in your vehicle changes throughout the year. There's some things that you always need to have, and there's some things that you need to put in your vehicle when it gets cold out. So here are those things. All right, friends, so there's some things you need to always have. Some of those things you need to always have, I'm gonna put a list in the description of what you should always have in your vehicle, and then I'll put another list for cold weather gear. So one of the things you should always have in your vehicle is a jack. You always need to have a jack, and with the jack, you need a tire iron. You need a 4-way. You need some way to bust the lug nuts loose, take them off, and be able to change a tire. You should be able to change your own tire if you're driving a vehicle. That's kind of one of the prerequisites to driving on your own, is to be able to change your tire. So jack, and you need a 4-way or a tire iron, something to be able to get your lug nuts off. Okay, the next thing you should keep in your vehicle is you need some first aid supplies. You should probably keep a little first aid kit. This one might be too big for you. I have kids, so I have a bigger kit, but you should also keep some sort of trauma kit. This is my ankle med kit. It goes on my ankle every single day. It has a tourniquet, it has some gauze, it has some chest seals. You never know when you might come upon an accident and someone may need help. So I recommend keeping this. Also, if you're in an accident, then you can use your equipment on yourself to preserve your life. So medical equipment is the number 2 thing. Number 3, the third thing I'd recommend is a tire pressure gauge. Some way to check the pressure in your tires. That's what you should always have in your vehicle at all times. All right, friends, the next thing I would always keep in your vehicle, I would always try to keep some food and some water in your vehicle. You never know when you might get stuck for a while. You never know when you might be waiting somewhere for a while and you might get hungry. We've seen in the past that there are times when people are stranded on the highway for some reason or not. But you should keep some food and water in your vehicle, so that way it's not a huge inconvenience for you as far as you losing energy. You always want to maintain your energy. So I like to keep some sort of food, and then I always like to keep some water in my vehicle. Another really good thing to have is maybe some Pedialyte packs. Some packs to make sure you can have all your electrolytes. Make sure you're good in that regard. All right, now some things that are nice to have, but you probably should save a little bit for them. The first thing is a foot pedal air pump for a bicycle. And you might say, well, that's for a bike, it won't fit air, it won't get air into a car tire. It actually will. Your car tire usually runs on about 35 PSI, where your bike tire runs at about 60. So if a foot pedal air pump will push air into a bicycle tire, it'll definitely push air into a car tire. So that's one thing that's nice to have. They're actually not that expensive. You can just get one, keep it in your vehicle, and that way if you have a low tire, you're not running to try to find somewhere to air it up on that low tire. You can just air it up right there with your foot pedal air pump. The next thing that's nice to have, but you will probably need to save up a little bit for it, is a jump pack. Something that you can, if you have a dead battery, hook it up and jump start your vehicle without having to call somebody or having to wait on the side of the road or in a parking lot or somewhere. So those are two things that are nice to have. Not really necessary right when you first start driving, but after you've been driving for a month or two, you should think about saving for these items to keep them in your vehicle. Okay, so now let's talk about when it gets cold out. What you need to have in your vehicle when it gets cold. Number one thing you need to have in your vehicle when it gets cold, you need to have gloves. Gloves and a hat. I'd recommend a scarf. Anything that would help you be able to walk a mile if your car went into a ditch and you had no cell service, or your cell phone went dead, or whatnot. Anything that would allow you to bundle up and walk a mile. If you go to school without a coat, or if you drive somewhere without a coat and it's winter, you are wrong. You should at least throw it in your vehicle so you can have it if something happens. So gloves, hat, scarf, warm clothes so you could walk if you need to. The next thing for winter I would highly recommend getting one of these emergency survival blankets. You can get them real cheap. You can get them where they fold down to like that, and keep that in your vehicle in case you need to have it if you get stranded. So there you go, folks. There is your things that I recommend you put in your vehicle, things that I recommend you keep in your vehicle, and that way you are better prepared to face whatever may happen. Thanks so much for watching, folks. Remember to work hard because hard work is its own reward. And thanks for watching.